So I was at a workshop, and the directions were to think of yourself as an animal. And as we all kind of picked out our own particular animals, waited till everybody had one, and then the instructions were identify yourself as a predator or as prey. And it was interesting. I think the room was sort of pretty much 50-50. Like half of us were animals that would be considered to be predators, and about half the room was animals that would end up being prey. So we kind of thought about, what does this mean? How do you interpret yourself? Was that was that in the back of your mind when you were considering what you were going to be or how you were going to be? Was it going to be an animal of prey or a predator? Was there an intentionality about it? Then the next series of questions were, now move from the status of predator or prey and become a different animal that is that would be identified opposite of that. So if you were a prey, you had to become a predator. If you identified as a predator, you had to become prey. And then again, kind of feel your way into it. What does that feel like? How are you in the world? What are the things that you experience? And if you're prey, of course, how do you stay out of the predator's mouth? And if you're the predator, how do you find things to eat? And what goes into that thought process? So thinking about that, I was thinking that may be a good place for us to begin the sort of second half of yesterday's conversation around how we direct our lives. What are we doing? What are we imagining? How do we use our imagination? So I would say before you can, if you want, pause the tape here, spend a couple minutes playing around with the idea of predator and prey. And then when you come back, what we're going to really talk about is using our imagination in a way to create, design, and live the life that we would really like to live. Okay, I'm assuming you did that. You took a break. Now we're back. You might have lots of questions about it. I prefer one over the other. I didn't like being a predator. I didn't like being prey. Now I'm going to ask you another question. As you go through life, how do you experience life? How do you experience living? Do you experience life as something that is happening for you? Or do you experience it as something that's happening to you? Are you a victim of circumstances, conditions? Are you protected by, cared for, loved in life? Is it something that's happening for you, or is it something happening to you? How do you understand yourself in the context of living? Now I want you to imagine, once you've made that identification, I want you to imagine that life is happening for you. That the creative life force called you into existence, brought you into life for reason, for purpose, intention, not to torture you, not to make it difficult, but actually to bless you, to develop a relationship with you, to work cooperatively in life. What's my support and evidence for that? That our bodies are self-healing mechanisms, that they know how to self-heal. And then the second part is our brains are inquisitive. They're always looking for expansion, something greater. creative, innovative. That when we use our thought, we make things happen. And yes, I'm going to suggest that sometimes when we use our thought, it brings things to us that we don't necessarily want, things that we don't enjoy. And that when we use our imagination in a creative, innovative way, that we change what we experience in life. And we change the whole experience of life itself. And so now I want you to think about, what were the things that you would enjoy? What are the things in life that would make it worth living for you? If you could have your life exactly the way you want it to be, or the way you dream about, or the way you envision it would be, that would make it ideal. Understanding that we don't always get absolutely everything we want. That isn't really quite how life works. But that the majority of the time can be exactly the way we want it to be. That when you wake up in the morning, you're excited to be here. You're looking forward to the day and the things that you're going to do and accomplish and achieve. That the people that you meet are there for you. They are not predators, nor are they prey that you can take advantage of, but that you are in a collaborative and cooperative relationship with them to your mutual benefit. And again, I know for some of you, this is a stretch. This is not how you experience life, which is why I'm putting it in the context of imagination. Same way I was suggesting earlier, or yesterday's video, that you imagine the possibility for leprechauns and lawn fairies and all of those sorts of things, that there's these marvelous things about life, or that you're in Disneyland or Disney World where ducks can talk and mice can have fun and families and all of those sorts of things. What would happen if you used your imagination to create a wonderland for yourself? A place where dreams really, truly come true. What we're going to learn in the workshop that I'm going to present in a few weeks is going to be using our imagination to create our world, to create our life, to experience what goes into making that happen. And how do we do it? We'll do it together. So it isn't just a suggestion on a YouTube channel. We're going to actually get together and make it happen and experience those kinds of things. And we're going to do that together. I'm so looking forward to this. I'm so excited about this as a possibility. And yeah, we'll probably do some of those silly things like predator and prey, and we'll do some other interesting exercises and experiences. And in the meantime, I want to remind you of a exercise around finding these kinds of things. So as you're thinking about the life that you'd like to have, what does your heart tell you? What is not just in your mind, in your head, and all the objections and everything else that pops up, but what does your heart say when you think about that, of creating the life of that you want by design, by intention, creating the actual blueprint that you follow as you build your life? So as you begin to think about this, the simple mindful exercise for this is to take a nice, long, slow, deep breath in and out. And then as you exhale, pretend you're blowing candles out on a cake. And just to be sure that you're focused on it, bring your tongue to the top of your mouth, put your lips together like you're really blowing candles out, and actually do it. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Blow all the candles out. Do it one more time. Long, slow, deep breath in. Tongue to the roof of your mouth. Purse your lips. Get all the candles. Now in this third one, take a nice, long, slow, deep breath in. As you inhale, when you exhale, imagine yourself going down a slide and just saying, whee, all the way down. That's it. Wonderful. Now we're going to do that 3 times more, and I'll tell you what the rest of the instructions are. You're going to think about what's the question, and you can do this for every question that's popped in your head during this little time of imagination. And then ask yourself, as you ask the questions, you can state it out loud, and then say, my heart says. We know what your head's saying. What does your heart say? So breath in, blow out the candles. One more, breath in, blow out the candles. Okay, and one more, breath in, down the slide. Now state your question out loud. And then now, what does my heart say? And drop down into that. And just be quiet, just listen. Recognize what the heart is telling you. Just listen. If you want, share that. It's always good to lock those experiences in. So share with us what you discovered about yourself. Share with us the murmurings of your heart in relationship to your life and how you're living it in the world at this point. Let us know what it is, and I'll do the same. I'll put some comments in here. I'm going to give you guys time to respond first, though. And then keep your eye open for when we're going to do the workshop together. I can't wait to meet you in person. I'm really looking forward to it. All the best. Namaste. Remember, subscribe so you don't miss anything. Like it. And for people, I know you know people who can benefit from this. Please share it. Expand the work that we're doing together. Can't wait to see you.